Hello and welcome back to Crosshatch Puzzles. We're here for another New York Times Daily Crossword Solve. Today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, and it's raining a bit out. I hope that noise isn't coming through too strongly. Today's construction is by Max Schlenker. It's a debut for him, so congratulations, Max. And it's a Tuesday, so we'll expect an early week, hopefully not too challenging themed puzzle. An interesting array of black squares breaking up the left side of the grid there. So we'll see. And thought I'd try something different today. I might talk even more in detail through my thought process about when I decide to put something in, when I decide to move on, sort of maybe just provide a little more guidance than I normally do as I'm solving. We'll see if that works out okay. But let's get to solving for today. This is a puzzle for Tuesday, May 5th, a debut by Max Schlenker. Tried and true choice informally. Tried and true choice. I mean, I almost want something like safe, but that's not really informal, so I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to go across instead of down because I don't have enough to make it worthwhile going down. It's perfect for some musicians. So we're looking at both an it clue, meaning whenever you see it in a clue without a quotation mark around the phrase, that's usually pointing you to the fact that we want to provide the thing that it, the pronoun, could be referring to. So what could be perfect for some musicians? In this case, we're looking for perfect pitch. Motorcyclist's invitation. Motorcyclist's invitation. I have no idea what they're talking about there. Asia's shrinking blank sea. There's two C's of four letters that tend to make it into the puzzle, both in Asia, those being the Dead Sea and the Ural Sea, and I'm not sure in this case which of these we want. I could check some downs here, but I think rather than doing that, I'm gonna try and get this middle block. Ruckus. Probably we want something noisy here, but I'm not sure which. Let's check the downs and see if we can get anything. Greek letter that looks like an O superimposed with an I. So not, yeah. And I don't remember whether this is psi or phi, actually. I don't remember offhand, but I'm going to put that. I'm sure about the I at the end, so I'm going to put that in. Charged particles in chemistry are ions. Roman robes, probably. So this is, we've got robes plural here, so we want, it could have been tunic, but we need a plural, so I think it's going to have to be togas. French sweetheart. Probably we want a word for sweetheart in French, but I don't see what that could be starting with C. Maybe chérie, like that? Possible, but I'm not too sure. Oh, Alaska Politico. And so I checked the R here because this is the, of all the crossing entries to 8 down, this is the one that I feel like I'm most likely to be able to get. It's got the fewest sort of missing letters. There is also 16 across, but I already tried that one and I still don't know what it is. So this Alaska Political Palin is Sarah Palin. So that does confirm, I think, enough. Shari there. Prohibited in Islam. Prohibited in Islam. See, again, I would have wanted something like halal. But I thought halal referred to the things that were allowed, that were permitted. This is in italics, so we can guess that it's a themed entry here. It's child's play, and I'm not sure exactly what we want there. Maybe there's a word like halal that's refers to the the forbidden stuff, and I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it's haram, actually. That sounds like a thing. And then this looks like hoo-ha, a ruckus, a hoo-ha. I don't really know that phrase for that. But it's definitely not suha, so I'm going to go with that and guess that this is going to be phi. It's a piece of cake. I don't know what's a piece of cake. What about this down, since it's the only other sort of stray letter that we have? Undeniable successes. Undeniable successes. Probably it's going to take the form of two words, adjective, and then a plural noun. But I'm not totally sure. Let's keep going with the acrosses where we left off. Where Boise is. Boise is it the capital of Idaho? I think it is. Capital of Idaho. And let's do one more across, but I think I'm going to have to go to downs here. Computer geeks. Maybe we want nerds, but I'm going to check the downs to double check here. Chart topper. Maybe not nerds then. Because maybe a chart top is going to be a hit. A hit song. Texas setting for 2004's Friday Night Lights. I'm not sure. Mule or burro? Those are both pack animals. Maybe that's actually what we want. Pack animal? Maybe. They're both animals that are used to carry stuff. Computer geeks then might be techs. But, oh, fancy seeing you here. And this is a clue in quotation marks. So that means we want an equivalent phrase. Might be something like, oh, hey. The two H's looked weird there, but as soon as I saw the clue, I thought that might be okay. Motorcyclist's invitation then could be hop on. They may be counted when taking attendance. Noses? Why? Why would you count noses when taking attendance? But this does look like blank-ball. This looks like skee-ball, the popular arcade game. So maybe it is noses. Why do you count noses? Is this Odessa, Texas? Odessa is also a place in Ukraine. It's Child's Play. Simon Says, I guess, is a child's game. That would work. Loch blank monster, the Loch Ness monster. Fair enough. One of three statistical averages. They are mean, median, and mode. This only one that fits, and given what we have is the mean. Undeniable successes then could be home runs. So I was not exactly right in adjective and plural nouns, but the form is the same. So that's close enough. Altar promise. A promise you might make at an altar, at a wedding altar, might be I do. Don't you blank, to fill in the word in the phrase here. Don't you dare, likely. Drug buster. And so this is interesting because this is probably going to be narc. But usually there's something in the clue that would indicate that it's going to be a short, like this is a narcotics officer or something like that. It's a short form, and usually there's something in the clue that would indicate a short form. Or a colloquialism. Maybe buster is enough of a colloquialism that narc will follow. How much 1990s music was issued? Oh, I'm misreading the clue. How much 1990s music was issued? So how much of music from the 1990s was issued, in other words, on CD. Bared one's teeth, say. I actually don't know what we want there. Blank fi, probably we want sci-fi, short form for science fiction. And in this case, I guess fi itself being short-formed, being abbreviated is enough to give us that. I mean, also, you would never abbreviate one without the other in the phrase like this, which is fine. Apex, then, apex is the peak of something, the top of something. Another word for that is the acme. This could be snarled, then. Bared one's teeth. You would need to bare one's teeth in order to make the sort of snarling facial expression, or to do the snarling gesture, I guess. 44 down then. Again, I'm sort of going, trying to fill in blanks using as many crossing things that I had. So right now, looking at which entry has the most to go off of. This one has, 3 out of 8 squares filled. So I'm going to try that first. This one has 5 filled, but first of all, it's a theme entry, which means there's going to be some kind of wordplay, and it's a long one. It's a 15-letter spanner. And I've only got 5 of the letters, so let's go for 3 out of 8 first. Having added nutrients. So we're looking at something like bread or milk, and we might call those things enriched. Now already I can see MC at the beginning of 61 across here, so that looks weird enough that I'm going to immediately check it. Intermittently offered fast food pork sandwich. So this is a sandwich that is not on the menu all the time, but sometimes only, and that's the McRib sandwich at McDonald's. Now I want to try and close in on this square here, this bottom block, and let's start here. Fully matured, probably we want ripe as a fruit. Swedish furniture supplier, I could go in any direction here, but I'm just going to keep going down, is going to be IKEA. And complaint informally, maybe beef. Let's just double check to see if that's right. Fencing blade is going to be an épée, and like typical communicators in sign language is going to be deaf. So beef looks okay there. It's a walk in the park. A nature hike, maybe. I'm just looking at the number of letters here. Well, let me double check here and make sure this looks okay as an R. A blank fair, historical event, a Ren fair, Renaissance fair looks okay. So nature hike looks fine. I probably don't need more confirmation than that. I'm pretty confident about nature hike. Like checking a dating app while you're on a date. Well, that could be considered rude, I think. So let's go with that. And then these ones have the most to go with, so I'm going to go here. Piano exercise could be an étude, which is the French word for study. And about 50.7% of all Americans are what? Women, I guess? That looks likely, but I'm going to again check the crosses. Unit of information could be a datum, the singular of data. Groovy could, it's again in quotes, so we want an equivalent phrase, could be neato. This is my first day on the job, another clue in quotes. So we want something that someone could say instead of this is my first day on the job. You could say I'm new. Then this clue is almost complete. A lipstick blunder could be a smear. I could go, the S isn't really enough to go on here. Media misinformation, it's going to be probably something plural or maybe just something ending in an S, not sure. So let's go here instead. It's a breeze, looks like some kind of a wind maybe. Breeze and wind being synonyms. Yeah, let's go with that and see. It's a no-brainer. I'm not sure what we want there. Do I have enough? This is just an S here, but let's see if I can get it. English facilities. Facilities in the grid almost always means washroom, a bathroom, a restroom, a toilet. And English gives us the indication that we want either lavs, which is a short form for lavatories, or loos, which is basically a euphemism for the same thing. I'm not sure which, though, but I can put in the L. One's always blowing off steam. The question mark tells us that there's going to be wordplay here, that we should not think about this in the way that we would normally read this. Blowing off steam normally means venting anger, but in this case, instead of reading it figuratively, we can read it literally and surmise that this might mean kettles, which tea kettles, which would let off steam when they are boiling. Blank will be done, thy will be done. That's a biblical phrase there. Or a phrase from a prayer, anyway, the Lord's Prayer, I think. Chinese general on a menu is general so. I'm not sure. I don't think it was a literal general. Maybe it was a literal general. I'm not sure. But certainly a putative general in the name of a dish on a menu. Not an authentic dish either, but it's a no-brainer. This looks like horseman, but why? If it is horseman, that gives us a lose, probably, instead of lavs, and that works okay with YOU at the end of this one. 2016 Ariana Grande love song. I don't know what it is, but that makes good sense that it would end in U. You. Empty blank home after the kids go off to college. The phrase is empty nest. Into you, maybe? Seems like it might be right. Let's check across. Pet, pests. Do we want ticks? We need a plural here, unfortunately. So it might be something like knits. I'm not sure. I'm going to heavy spiked club at 48 across. This might be actually, maybe it's ticks like this. I thought ticks were Ticks. Or maybe it's lice. Heavy spiked club, because I'm guessing that because heavy spiked club is likely to be a mace. Maybe this is headless horseman. It's a no-brainer. Someone without a brain, without a head, is a headless horseman. That works. Media misinformation then could be fake news. That works fine. Alternative to a Word doc as a document format could be a PDF, a portable document format. Doc, again, being sort of short-formed there. DOC is the extension or the short form for the type, and PDF, similarly, the short form for the type. Bell-bottom jeans and pet rocks in the 1970s. These, when we have an and clue like this, we are looking for a category of thing, pluralized, that these things could both be examples of. So these were both fads in the 1970s. It's a piece of cake. I guess we want a ladyfinger here, which is literally a kind of a small piece of cake. International competition in math, science, and other disciplines. Olympiad? I mean, that term sort of is a general term, I guess, and I usually hear it used referring to the actual Olympics, but it could be. A tried and true choice, then I'm going off the potential O in here. A tried and true choice could be a go-to, and that's certainly an informal way of saying. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's likely correct then. Let's check the rest of these. Effrontery. Effrontery is what, a kind of an offense, maybe? I'm not actually sure. Maybe gall, actually. Effrontery could be not the offense itself, but the audacity to make an offense, to create an offense. Could be gall. Does that work with this? Maybe not, actually. Not in writing as an exam. So if it's not in writing, it might be an oral exam. I would have wanted not written as an exam, but that's fine. Magicians, look what I did. Again, in quotes, look what I did. And what might a magician say instead of look what I did? They might say, ta-da. Source of some South American wool. Could be a llama. And maybe I was wrong about this. Maybe it's the Ural Mountains and the Aral Sea. In which case, effrontery could be gall. So I'm going to go ahead and... But I'll keep in mind that I'm not totally confident about this. I thought this might be something else. In case I get to the end of the puzzle and it tells me I have something wrong. Glass blower, for example. Could be an example of an artisan. Like a campfire by morning, typically. If you make a campfire at night, by morning, typically it is reduced to ashes. And the like a construction means we kind of need an adjective here. And so the adjective that they're looking for is ashy. Ashen could work too, but there's only 4 letters available here. MLB Stadium demolished in 2009 with an S and an A, and 4 letters is going to be Shea Stadium, which was a former home of the Mets. Now they play at Citi Field. The New York Mets, I should say. Flightless bird from South America is a rhea, I think, not a ray, but a rhea. A cousin of the emu. Starchy tuber. A tuber is a root vegetable, and a starchy version of example of that is a yam. Sometimes conflated with sweet potato, though there are some distinct species there. Figure in a school pep rally. A team mascot, I'm guessing, given the number of letters here. It's a breeze. What kind of wind do we want? I'm not sure. Obey with to. Adhere to. If you're obeying an order, you're adhering to it. It's a possibility. Sudden or impulsive as a decision could be rash, so that works. We want adjective for an adjective there. Pay for at a restaurant, say. I don't know. Title role for Sylvester Stallone. Probably we want, given the 5 letters and an A in the second spot here, we want Rambo, I think. Oh, a trade wind. It's a breeze, a trade wind. A trade wind is sort of a favorable wind for merchant ships, I think is what that is. Oscars host, for example. An MC is an example, an Oscars host is an example of an MC. To pay for, not a meal, but to pay for, not specifically a meal, but to pay for someone else, to cover somebody else, is to treat them. It's an example. Paying for someone at a restaurant is an example of treating them to something. Abandoned prematurely as a mission is to abort. Arrivals in the 2016 thriller Arrival, in brief. The arrivals, the ones who arrive, are extraterrestrials, so ETs here. And OMG same, in quotes. Not only would we want an equivalent phrase, but we want something slangy, is going to be totes. So that looked right. So I'm going to first go here where I thought this was the Ural Sea and see if gull makes any sense. I don't see why it would. No. So if it's not that, what else could I possibly have wrong? I guess it could be Suha after all, but I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think so. Have I misentered anything? Oh. On CD, no, that's okay. Beef, Kia, ripe, enriched, Acme. Renfair, datum, I'm new. What else could this possibly be? Effrontery has to be... Oh, oops, I just put in the wrong letter. Dope. Why didn't somebody tell me? Anyway, that took me way longer than it normally did, but well, let's look at the theme first. I wonder how that, whether people found that annoying or helpful. There's no revealer, but we just have a number of these clues, these theme clues where it's an it clue. And so there was 5 Across actually was just like this. It's perfect for some musicians, where the clue has an it in it, just sort of by itself, and that whenever we have that, we're looking for the noun that pronoun could be referring to. And in this case, what could be perfect for some musicians? Well, they could have perfect pitch, so the pitch could be perfect. And it's kind of a stretch as far as the construction of it, but anyway, that could be it. But all these theme clues are operating on the same kind of principle, where you're looking for the thing that it could be, only there's some extra step of wordplay involved in making the theme entry match the definition of the clue. So it's a piece of cake, where a ladyfinger, we don't want literally a slice of cake, but literally a ladyfinger is a piece of a confection or a piece of a dessert. That's a sort of a small version of a cake. Right? It's a cake-like material, but it's not a slice of a sort of a typical pound cake or, a wedding cake or something like that. It's not a piece of a larger cake, but it's a piece of cake-like material, I guess, is what's going on there. It's child's play. So again, child's play typically used figuratively to mean something very easy, something without difficulty. But in this case, we actually want a game that children could play. And so the it here is the game called Simon Says. It's a no-brainer. Again, we want Oh, you know what? I just realized that all of the theme clues mean the same thing. They mean it's easy. So it's a piece of cake could mean it's easy, and I apologize that I didn't come up with that connection before. But all of these things figuratively mean it's easy, and that's the most common way that you hear these expressions. Piece of cake most commonly to mean something easy, but in this case we want an actual piece of cake. Child's play is something that's easy, but in this case, we want something that is actually a child's game. It's a no-brainer, a task that doesn't require much mental effort, but in this case we actually want a person without a brain, which would be a headless horseman, and it's a breeze, something that's relatively easily done, but in this case we want a literal breeze. Trade wind, which does make sailing easy, that's the idea. And finally, it's a walk in the park, but not just something easy, but in this case, a nature hike, which might or might not be especially easy. Okay, so I think I finally understand what's going on. I may have gotten distracted by all the explanation, sorry about that. Yeah, I think I don't remember if there was anything else. I mean, hoo-ha for ruckus is quite obscure, I think. I mean, it sounds vaguely familiar, but not something I would have come up with myself. One's always blowing off steam is nice and fun, light wordplay for kettles. I'm not sure about Into You, but okay. The McRib reference is pretty fun, I guess. This is a fun bit of slang. Totes. Effrontery is, yeah, so this did end up being gall, meaning a sort of audacity here. I did manage to get haram after all. I'd never noticed the similarity in spelling between this and halal. Pack animal I was fortunate to get right off the bat. We do have these two sort of vaguely animal, potentially animal related clues symmetrically opposed at 12 down pack animal and at 31 down team mascot. Entries, I should say, not clues. Another facilities clue, another toilet clue here. Pay for it at a restaurant, just a little misleading. Pet pests, I mean, lice are pests on pets or people. And equally likely on either. I think that's it. Yeah, so a pretty good Tuesday puzzle. A great debut by Max Schlenker. Fun theme. Again, let me know what you thought of this sort of thoroughly explained Tuesday process. Tuesdays normally don't take me this long, but I thought this might be a good opportunity to talk through a little bit more than I usually do. If you want to see more of this, let me know. If you don't like it, also let me know so that I can stop doing it. That's the puzzle for today. Give me a thumbs up if you like, and if you want to know when I'm posting next, hit the subscribe button. And I'll head back out into the rain, and see you next time on Crosshatch Puzzles. Cheers.